A couple of months ago, I saw a study that talked about how grip strength correlated to longevity. Despite not having particularly big hands or forearms, I've always been proud of my grip strength. So I decided to work out what mine was. And to my despair, I could only pull about 108 pounds on my right hand. I discovered that this corresponds to below average for my age range. This seemed unacceptable to me. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Grip strength is a core part of a lot of the techniques in Jiu-Jitsu. Not just grip strength, but grip duration, how long you can hold on to somebody. I decided for the first time to take my grip strength seriously. And in 3.5 months, I went from below average to top 10%, pulling 140 pounds. The first thing you need if you're going to do this is the Handexter electric hand dynameter. This will tell you how strong you are. Something I already had and I hadn't used in a while were these Captain of Crush grippers. This is the one. It's this many pounds in pull. When I first got it, I couldn't close it. This is 5 years ago. So I ended up having to buy the trainer one. And once I could close both of them, I went up to the 1.5. I still haven't got the 2. Now, while these are good, they are an explosive movement. And it also really helps if you know where to get them in your hand to get them shut. They also are sort of a big commitment. The training manual that comes with them says to work your grip strength much like you work your other muscles. So 3 or 4 times a week, sets of 5, you do a warm-up of 10, then you do 2 or 3 work sets of 5, holding the 5th one to failure. So I went back to that, and after 2 or 3 weeks, I actually hadn't seen much improvement. And I suspected that it wasn't the flexors, but the extensors that actually needed work. So on Amazon, I found a set of these guys. What you do is you put them on your fingers like this, and then you're able to open your hand against the force of it to train the extending muscles of your hand. Why this is important is that your body won't let the contracting muscle get too strong if the expanding muscle isn't also in balance, because it's worried about injury, it's worried about pulling the ligament off the bone. So what happened for me was that rather than the contraction, I needed to work on the extension. So I do, basically before I do my hand exercises, I do a set of these to failure, and then I open and then rotate. I originally started with the 6.6 pounds, but it broke. You also get these little squeezy donuts with them, though they're great to have in your car. Do a few of them at every traffic light, and it helps keep the muscles supple. The final piece of the puzzle for me was, because the Captains of Crush are so intensive, I wanted something in between that was better than the little donuts, but not as intensive as the Captains of Crush. And I found this guy here. I'll put it in the description. It is an adjustable thing, so you can tighten it and squeeze it, but it's also at an angle. Unlike these guys where you can only get 1 or 2 or 3 fingers in, this pulls back at the same axis on all your fingers simultaneously. It even has a little counter here, right? I've done 800 and something reps in the past, whatever. So you can do this, and you can set it low and then up the poundage for your second set and your third set. So I find this, rather than the Captains of Crush, which close that way, this one closes this way, so you have more constant pressure over the entire process. Over 3 months of doing this 3 or 4 times a week, I usually train on the days that I don't have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was able to hit 140 pounds on the dyno and 126 with my left hand. You do have to time the dyno right. You don't want to do it after a set because you'll be exhausted, but you don't want to do it cold or you risk injury. So it's good to warm up with halfway to failure with a relaxed set of these, then try your 1 rep max. It feels good to be at an age where I can still train and hit milestones. And hopefully this will mean that I can maintain my grip strength and increase my longevity for years to come. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.